EFC welterweight champion Themba Gorimbo. What's going on, Themba? How's life right now under these COVID circumstances?
Yeah, brother. How are you, man? I hope you are. Yeah, it's everything is okay so far, so good. Nothing. It's just that I need to fight. I want to fight as soon as possible. But otherwise, everything is normal. I've been training hard throughout. I'm literally in an unknown fight camp. I'm training extremely hard, and I know big things are coming now. So when they do, I'll be ready, and I want to make a big impact on my big move.
What are they telling you? What is the promotions or organizations telling you? Are they telling you that it's going to be open in the next couple of weeks, or is it going to take about a few months? What's the timeline?
So look, basically I'm the EFC welterweight champion here in Africa. But the thing is, I'm not fighting here anymore. So I'm looking to get into the next promotion. That's UFC, and yeah, my manager and myself and the matchmaker in the UFC, we're busy talking, and things will come. Things will come right, very soon. So you'll see me. My next fight is not going to be in the EFC. It's going to be in a big show.
Fight Island in July. If you're gonna debut anywhere, I think that's the perfect place, right?
Yeah, I've been actually talking to my manager now, but the thing is, with the Fight Island cards, I think they're all finalized, and I'm happy that there's like a couple of welterweight fights there. If anything happens there, I'm ready to step in, and I've done all my medicals. Currently, I've done all the UFC medicals that is needed, so that if anything happens and they need someone to replace, on short notice, I'm in. So, yeah. It will be a good place to make a debut, to make an impact, and yeah, man. I hope just I fight a big name. I wanna make my debut on short notice because I'll get an opportunity to fight a big name, a guy that is already there on top. Then it's good to go in there with a big, then knock the guy out. Then straight away you're right there. If not in the top 20, you're in the top 10 straight away.
All right. Well, before we talk about your fight career, I wanted to get into your history. You have a unique story, and the first thing, of course, is you fleeing Zimbabwe as a teenager and going to South Africa for to get a better life, basically. Could you explain that time of your life, to the people that don't know your story?
Yeah. So for me, basically, what happened is like when I was growing up, I grew up in Zimbabwe. I'm Zimbabwean, but I live here in South Africa because life is so much better here in South Africa, and everything is so much better than it is back home in Zimbabwe. And it was in 2008, I made a decision that, it's either I was going to finish my A level or I was going to come here. And, I didn't have parents. My mother died when I was 13. My father died when my mother died when I was 9. My father died when I was 13. So life was pretty much difficult there in Zimbabwe. My cousin was looking after us, but it was not the life that many people wish to have. It was difficult. So at age of 16, actually, I went to the diamond fields in Zimbabwe. So I was doing illegal diamond mining and smuggling diamonds at the age of 16, straight after high school. When I finished my O level, I finished school when I was young, and when I was supposed to go to A level, and money is nice and the diamonds were good. I almost got killed there. If you look at my body, I've got scars everywhere because once we were confronted by the police and the dogs beat me so much. I had 5 dogs, German Shepherds, biting me there on all the diamond fields. I almost died. I passed out there. And, life was just very, very difficult, In 2008, then in Zimbabwe, there was this thing of, there was big drought in Zimbabwe. There was no food, almost like famine, then it was just like a decision. It's either you want to be here or you want to be there. And I made a decision and I said, you know what, I'm going to South Africa. I didn't have a passport when I first came to South Africa. I came through the water. It's called Limpopo River. I came through the river, and it was just one of those times you you just take that sacrifice. It is dangerous to do that. A lot of people died while they were doing that. And for a young guy, I was 17, about to turn 18, it was very difficult, And for a young guy to do that, it just showed me what kind of a person I was. And funny enough, I got deported on the same day I arrived in South Africa. They deported me back to Zimbabwe. And I got caught because I didn't have a passport. They caught me, put me in a cell. Then after a few days, then they deported me. Then when I got on the border, that's where like this thing of me never giving up in life and everything. That's when I feel like it started, because I decided when they deported me, when they put me on the border, and they asked me, do you want to go home, get on this bus, you're going back to your village, where you come from? Then I said to them, no, I live here. I lied to them. I said to the police that, no, I live here in this city. Then they're like, okay, cool, get out. Then I got out, then I crossed the border straight away. Like, they deported us around 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening. By 7 o'clock, I was back in South Africa again illegally. I came here straight away on the same day. They deported me. When the sun down, I was in South Africa again. And the second time was very hard because I almost got killed when I was coming back in here for the second time. And I was very young, And to have somebody for the first time in my life, obviously when I was doing the diamonds and on the diamond field, I used to see a lot of nasty things there. Like, it was like blood diamonds, basically. People used to get killed in front of me. Someone was shot while we were running away from the police. Someone was shot in front of me. You just run over them and you run, But it was the first time someone actually hold a knife, I remember it was a big knife. Someone just hold a big knife for me on me, because when you illegally cross into South Africa, it's not just the police you're running away from. You're also running away from the criminals. There's criminals that rob people because they know that you're crossing. You've got certain amount of money. You're not just going to cross without money. So you're running away from the police and you're running away from the criminals. And the criminals saw us and they actually trapped us. And when the guy held a big knife, there was a moonlight, and I just remember seeing this big knife. I literally passed out, fell. It is like a movie. When I tell people my life, it is like a movie, I fell on the ground, and the rest of the other guys ran away. And these guys that were robbing us, they ran after the other guys, and they left me there. For some reason, they left me there. They ran after everybody. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Then when I came back to normal, I realized there was a fence there. And I decided, you know what, I have to go and run towards the police and get arrested at least, not get killed. At least I'll get arrested and I'll make my way back home than getting killed here. So I ran towards the police, and midway, then I saw one of the guys that we were with, and said to me, no, don't go to the police. Let's go. We need to go. Then I made my way into South Africa, lived on the streets in Johannesburg for a couple of days. For 2 weeks, I was living on the streets, giving pamphlets on the roads, and life was very difficult first time. I didn't have, because of the situations that I was deported first time. The second time when I came, I didn't have any contact for my family members. My family members lived in Cape Town. It's another city in South Africa, and I was here in Johannesburg. And I didn't have any contact of my family members. I was 17, turning 18, and I was just this is my first time out of my village. I'm in a new country, new city. I don't have contact for anybody that I know. Lived on the streets, looked for job where I used to give 20 flyers the whole day for 20 rand, just so that I can buy myself a cool drink and the bread to eat, And I lived here until I could raise some money. Then I memorized the number back home. Then I called back home in Zimbabwe. Then they gave me the number for my cousins that were in Cape Town. Then that's how I made my way back, my way to Cape Town. And even there, it was not easy, man. I was just a piccaninny. They call them piccaninny. If you are very young here, you are a piccaninny. I was just a piccaninny in a like you are a small fish in a big pond, like. And I didn't have any skills. I didn't have any qualifications. I was working as a gardener, and I started learning new things, new skills like painting. I was a painter. Then I became a security guard for a pick and pay where we used to work 17 hours a day. You clock in at 6 a.m., clocking out at 11:30 in the evening. And that's when I was a security guard. That's when I started MMA. Yeah, I started MMA through a movie. I watched a movie called Never Back Down. And then I watched Never Back Down. That's what's funny. And I checked out. I'm like, this is a sport. Fighting is a sport. Then I'm like, okay, cool. I think I can do that. And first days it was more about protection and being cool. I started MMA when I was 19. So first days it was more about that, like being cool and protecting myself. And I have a lot of cousins. We used to live, me and my cousins, they are all boys. Most of my cousins are boys, And and I was the youngest, and we were living in one room, 6 guys, sleeping on the same bed, 6 guys. When I don't know if you have ever had this situation where you are sleeping on a king size bed, six guys, 6 men. The other guy is looking that side, the next guy is looking the other side, the other guy look that side, so that you can fit on the bed, And at least it was warm. You just have to buy 1 or 2 blankets. So, because we're trying to save money, So, and the other thing, why I started MMA is because my cousins always started fights and all that. And I was the smallest, so everyone would try to pick on me. And I was like, you know what, I have to do something. And then I started MMA. And I come from a fighting family, man. All my cousins, even my father before he died and his brothers, they used to always fight. And it's in our nature, fighting, That's how I started fighting. I thought, MMA is a sport through Never Back Down movie. I'm like, okay, cool. I checked out, and then I got my first fight 3 months after training. I won it with 7 seconds knockout. Yeah.
Well, I guess going through all what you went through in your life, most guys, or most people, when they fight, they have a fear of fighting. But maybe was that not there for you because you've been through so much in your life? So when you step in there, it's a little bit more simple for you.
So because I've been so it's kind of weird because growing up when I was in primary school, I used to be a good soccer player, And then when I went to high school, because my father died and I didn't have enough things and clothes, I felt I was more shy and reserved, and I never wanted to be in front of people, So the difficult thing when I started MMA was being in front of people. Even when this how serious it was that I couldn't be in front of people. In high school, back in Zimbabwe, if you pass and you are in the top 10 of the best students in your grade, they'll call you up on the assembly in front of everybody, and you have to go up there. When I know I'm most of the time I was in the top 10 of the overall class, I wouldn't go to school on the last day of the school because I didn't want to be in front for people to see me standing in front of people. So the difficult thing when I started MMA was not fighting. It was being in front of people. So I was very nervous, very, very nervous on my first fight. And what happened is that that's why I won it so quick. I can't even remember. I just remember catching the guy's leg overhand right, dropped him, then finished the fight so quick. I was so aggressive and quick, and you can't even remember. I memorized anything. So that was the first thing that was difficult for me. Then after that, after I knew, I can be in front of people. Okay, it's normal. I can do this. So fighting, it kind of comes normal to me. And whenever I feel like I'm in difficult situations, I always say to myself, I've been through it. This warm up.
Yeah. Well, you built yourself up, and throughout the years with EFC, and then you finally got a title shot. EFC 44. Your first shot at a title, the lightweight title. Talk about that experience and what it did for your mentality moving forward with your career.
Yeah, so when I finally got my shot in the EFC, it was a dream come true for me to fight in the EFC firstly, man. Thank you to the guys in the EFC when they gave me that opportunity. I I died to be there. I used to work so hard. I've been working hard for a very long time. So I was an amateur for 3 years, fighting as an amateur. And I was not that good, because I was not that. I was not. I think I was not putting enough commitment because I had side jobs on the to do as well. Like as an amateur, you don't get paid. You pay to actually fight here because you have to pay for your medicals, you have to pay for your transport, you have to pay for your food, and it was mad. So I used to work on this 17-hour shift as a security guard. So I don't blame myself losing a lot of amateur fights. I've lost, I think, 7 fights as an amateur, and won 8. So it was not that easy. So when I was about to turn professional, I made a decision. I'm like, you know what? It's do or die. I have to get peace jobs where I can work 8 to 4 o'clock. At least I can train before work and after work. And then I became a gardener for the complex. I was working as a gardener for the complex. Then when I get my shot in the UFC, because obviously now I started putting in the right amount of work. I used to train before I go to work. And when you work as a gardener, you're working like it's actually training as well. So I was getting more training in than the other guys and the professionals. So my coach decided, you know what, here's your shot, take it. And when I got my first title shot in EFC, I was young, I was 24, and I think the good thing that happened there for me, it was good for me to lose that fight. Very, very, it's a blessing. That's the only, for me, if you ask me today, my record is 9-2. I'll only tell you that I've only lost once. The other loss, when I lost to Dave Mazani, I really was stupid because I didn't go to fight healthy. I fought there with gastro. I didn't eat. I cut weight for that Dave Mazani fight. I cut weight first. Then after cutting weight, I got gastro straight after cutting weight. So I weighed in 73 kgs for that fight. It was a catchweight fight. Then after that, I was so dehydrated. Before the fight, I didn't eat nothing. Before the fight, I was 69 kgs. So that means I've lost weight, and I was so thin. I was stupid to fight. I just fought that fight because I thought to myself, you know what, they brought this guy all the way from America, and if I pull out, and also you got this mindset that I have that, hey man, through difficult times you can do more. It was so difficult, and my head was dehydrated. That's why it could hit me and I could drop. I was I didn't know that these things play out. So that's why I always say, I only have one loss, because the other loss I was very stupid. It's not a loss. It's just like me being stupid in there. So that Leon Maynard loss when I first got my title shot was a very big blessing for me, because I was like this. There was no looking on the side. I didn't even have a girlfriend. I didn't have all I do was MMA. I was so obsessed on protecting my record, my undefeated record, than fighting. I was obsessed on keeping the undefeated record than the actual fighting. So when you put those things into play and you just focus on staying undefeated, because it looks cool to be undefeated, very cool, but sometimes losing gives you an opportunity to life. And after that loss, I became a better person as well. I was not so serious about MMA. I used to be like, now I'm serious. I'm very, very serious. I still have got the traits from before, but I used to be too serious, man. 7 weeks, 8 weeks before my fight, I wouldn't talk to people. I'm just coming in the gym, train, go home, train. I actually didn't have a home then. I used to live in the gym. I used to sleep under the cage in the gym. So I used to train, go under the cage, sleep, train, go under the cage, sleep. Never talk to people. Was not that friendly, and it was just like too much obsession. Too much obsession led for me to lose that fight. And when I lost that fight, I realized that, you know what, fighting isn't everything. You need to have other avenues. You need to have business on the side, and you need to not take these things too serious, because it drains your energy. And you need to also loosen up a little bit. Like I started I literally, like, my fight pace from that loss I spent it within a week. I literally just went all crazy. I was crazy. I almost killed myself after losing that because I put in so much work. I put in so much sacrifices, and for me to lose, it was heartbreaking. When someone does everything right and then they lose. That was me when I lost to Leon Maynard. I did everything right. Even if you look in the fight, I was doing everything right. I almost submitted him in the first round, almost knocked him out in the second round. Then, from the brink of becoming a champion, then that being taken away from you and you lose straight away, it was just heartbreaking. There's so many times I wanted to kill myself. I promise you, there was many times I hold things to drink so that I can kill myself in my hand like this. And I was so religious as well. I'm like, why me? I used to ask. I used to go outside and ask questions. I look just up to the sky and ask questions. Why me? Why do I have to lose? Why me? Why do I have to lose? And then after a month or two, then I realized, it was a blessing in disguise. It was a very, very good blessing. I love that loss. It taught me a lot about myself, about life, about even the people that were around me. It taught me a lot of things, lots of things, and that was my blessing loss. I really love it, and I'll take it like a man and say, Leon Maynard, I love you for that. And that what led me to become a champion now that I am now. Because after that loss, I decided, fight the best guy. Straight after that fight, I fought a very risky fight against the now lightweight champion of EFC, Joe Cummings. He was undefeated, but also I knew this plays out in his head. He wants to stay undefeated because it looks clean and nice to stay undefeated. And now I had the experience over him of losing. Then I realized, this guy's, I'll beat him. And I just took the fight and beat him, and then another fight and another fight. Yeah, and then here I am, man. I'm the champion, and I'm looking forward to being one of the best in the world.
Yeah, well, you after that loss, you come back, you win a couple fights, EFC 82, first round, you get the finish, you get the title.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like going through everything that you went through? You just explained to me that after the loss, you were very depressed, because you did everything that you needed to do to win that fight, but you lost, but you come back and you get that title.
There was, when something, that something is going to happen. When something is going to happen, when it happens, is like, I don't know, for me, when I know something is going to happen and when it happens, there's no like feeling about it. It's like neutral, A lot of people asked me that day that, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel normal because I knew it was going to happen, I knew that I put in the work. I knew I'm surrounding myself with the right people. And I knew that there's no ways my opponent was outworking me, One thing I do is that I'm obsessed with my training. And as much as now I live better life where I can communicate with people, I can have friends, at least, like friends, the people that train in the gym only, I don't have friends outside of that. It's just that difficult, I wish I could, but I can't because my energy and everything, my mind is focused on becoming the best welterweight in the world. So I knew it was going to happen. And when it happened, it was just good. It was just that signature, where you sign off something that was meant to happen. And when it happened, just sign it off and you say, you know what, I've done it. It has happened. And yeah, man, it was a good thing to happen for me because then it inspired a lot of people, especially from my country, because it's rare to get a Zimbabwean doing well, especially in this sport, to become a world champion. I think I'm the first Zimbabwean. I'm actually the first Zimbabwean world champion in mixed martial arts, and it was history in a way, and it just gave so much hope. I could see it with the guys even in the gym, and when it happened, you could see the guys in the gym, their energy of training, their energy of seeing things became so much better. And they took my energy and added to their energy. Everything just went. So that was the best thing about it, that it inspired a lot of people. It inspired a lot of people. Then me becoming the sportsman of the year in my country, straight after then defending the belt, just made it more and more bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, after that fight, you called out Kamaru Usman and had some words for him. Why call him out? What was the reasoning behind that?
You know, Kamaru, like for me calling out Kamaru, if I have to be honest, like I'm always honest with things, it is what it is. I said the truth. I did my study on Kamaru. Kamaru left Africa when he was 6.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what Africa is about, bro. If I have to tell you how difficult it is to make it from here, you know how difficult it is to make it from here, and for an African to go, like, he is the first African to become a world champion in UFC. Good, but there's still a question there. Was he going to make it to the UFC if he lived in Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a question? Do you get it? It's so much easier if you live in America, bro. Like, a guy gets in the UFC with a 5-0 record, with a 3-0 record. I think he got in the UFC with a 4-0 record, 5-0, 4-0, 5-0 record, or something like that. 5-1 or something like that. 5-1, he got in the UFC. So I respect that. It's like, yeah, guys get in the EFC with 0-0 record. So it's good, but it's not that solid that he must claim that title, saying I am the first African to become a UFC champion. No, I think Francis Ngannou has a better claim on that. Mm-hmm. Even Adesanya still has a better claim, because Adesanya, I think, he lived in Africa for a longer period of time, and he lived in Africa for a better period of time, and he knows what Africa is about, really. That's what I said in the interview. Like, we need African that can inspire Africa. That knows how to survive and live in Africa and go all the way. And I think Francis Ngannou, when he become a champion, for me, in my books, if he does become a champion in the UFC before me, then he will become the legitimate first African who went all the way from Africa, because the guy still visits Africa. I think after every fight he visits Africa. He comes to Africa to his mother. His mother is in Africa. Kamaru's mother is in Nigeria, is in America. His whole family is in America. His father is in prison in America, which is bad, but their whole family is in America, Same applies to Adesanya. I respect them for representing Africa, but that title's still up for grabs to have the first African who lives and trains in Africa to become a world champion in the UFC. And I feel like I'm going to be that guy. I want to be that guy. That's my dream. That's my vision. That's what I want to do. I like to make history. And you know what happens? When I become a champion in the UFC, you know what will happen? Africa will just blow up straight away after that in MMA. Why? Because they can now relate to me. The guys in Africa that do MMA, all these guys, like I told you, when I became a champion in EFC, it just boosted the energy with the guys in the gym, in my gym. It boosted the energy there, Then they realized, oh, it's possible. It's possible. This guy became a champion in our eyes. It's possible. So for me, when I become a champion in the UFC, living, training in Africa, you know how big that will be. Like, it will be big, man. It will be so much bigger. That's why I'll never go, not out of no ego or anything. I'll never go and train outside of Africa. I've been offered to go and train in America, Florida, and all that. I've been offered to go there, Jackson Wink. Yeah, it's cool and good, but if I go there, I'm betraying my people. I'm betraying the hope of people in Africa that, hey, you don't really need to go out there. We can do it. We've got the talent. We've got the work ethic. The knowledge is out there. Knowledge is on the internet now. If I need to see how Kamaru is training, I go on the internet. I can take one or two things there. if I need to see how Adesanya trains, I can go on the internet, see one or two things, and still put it in a box, check it up, come up with my own Themba mix. That's how I want to do it. That we don't have to go out there, especially in mixed martial arts. For soccer and other sports, good, you must go there because you get paid more money outside of Africa. But we best in MMA while it's living and training here in Africa. That's my dream, that's my goal, and that's what I see. That's what I want to be. Yeah.
Of course. Earlier this year, you had your first title defense. It took about 6 months later from when you won the title. Why did it take so long for you to get a challenger?
I actually didn't have a challenge. I had to go out there and challenge the guys. The guy that I fought in March, I had to bring him up and say, "Hey, you fight me next," because the thing is, here in Africa, you fight who is there. It's not like all around the world. That's why it looks like I fight guys that are this and that and that. But you fight who is there. There's not a lot of people that want to fight here, man. And the guys that are in the front runners, they either want more money, which is very understandable. For me, when I became a champion, I just said to the promotion, you know what? Before I became a champion, I said to them, just give me a fight. I don't care about the money. You don't have to tell me how much money you're going to pay me. Just give me a fight, I'll fight. Just give me a fight, I'll fight. Only when I became a champion, then I said to them, hey, now you got to pay me at least, I understand the situation in Africa. Money is not big here. I want to fight. I want to keep busy, I want to keep busy. So, I made a quick turnaround. It is actually quick. 6 months straight away to defend my title. Here in Africa, it is very quick. Most guys, they spend a year without defending their title here, man. So it was quite quick. And when I defended it, it was good for me as well because I fought a guy. He trained at Absolute MMA in Australia. He was undefeated. He's a young guy, hungry, and he was an all-round fighter. He's good boxing. He's been doing boxing. I think I was still in Zimbabwe when he started doing boxing here. And he's been doing MMA for a long, long period of time. His record doesn't do him justice because I think he only trained professional recently. But he's been doing this longer than I have been doing, and he's very skilled. And I've always wanted to fight him. And we were supposed to fight, I think, in 2016, and our fight got cancelled because he got injured. He got a shoulder injury, and I had a nose. My nose, no, it was actually my teeth were shut in. So I had to pull out of the fight. He pulled out first, then I pulled out when they were calling me to tell me he's injured. We're getting a new opponent. I told him, as well, myself, I just got injured today. So at least I cleared that up that, I'm not going to run away from this guy. And a lot of people didn't want to fight Lau Karam. So it was good for me to put him back on my record, and with that win, same applies to Darocha from Brazil. I was supposed to fight him, I think, in 2017. Then I pulled out of the fight. Then I came back 2 years later, and I fought him and I beat him, At least I don't have any question marks in my record of saying you dashed that guy, you dashed that guy. So it is what it is here in Africa, bro. Here you fight who's there. So that's why, I had to actually go out there and say to the matchmaker, who's the contender? Who do you think I can fight? So they thought I was going to say, no, I don't want to fight him like many champions do here, because people want to protect what they have, and it's right for them to do so. I actually went for a EFC. So I fought at EFC 84, right? Was it 84?
Yeah.
So EFC 84, 83 weigh-ins. They didn't have a main event for EFC 84. So the weigh-ins of EFC 83, I went to the matchmaker and said to him, I want to fight the next card. Then he says, who do you want to fight? Let's go up and talk. Then I'm like, who are the contenders in the division? I want a guy that has got a good record, that is solid, and that can give me a run, Obviously, I'm very confident, and I always say things like that. I say, obviously, I'll beat him, but I want a challenge. And they said, there's Lyle. If you want Lyle, I can call Lyle now. You accept the fight. Then he accepts the fight straight away. Then I'm like, okay, cool, we're doing it. So, yeah, at least I got a chance to defend my title. And for now, I have to go and do better things, bigger things. Because if I stay here, I'll keep shutting guys' dreams, man. And I don't. I wish to succeed with everybody. And for me, staying here, I'll keep winning. Good. Even if, when I go, I'll keep winning. If I stay here, I'll keep winning. And what happens is that one dream at a time is being shut down. One dream at a time is being shut down. It's better for me. I became a champion. I defended my title. I move on. Someone becomes a champion as well, defend their title, moves on. So that we can all go and represent Africa to the fullest. That's how I see it. That's how I want it. And yeah, man.
Definitely. Well, it seems like there's nothing else to prove in Africa or in EFC. It's the next move is to the
That is,
UFC. You're training every day. You're ready to go. You got the management. You're talking to the matchmakers. I'm excited to see what you can do when you debut. Hopefully, it's gonna be this summer. Is that what you're thinking in your mind? Like, man, I'm gonna get in there this summer. This is the time. This is my time.
yeah, after doing my medicals, I feel like it's going to be now. They just have to open up here, but I've got options. Like in my country, I'm respected. They can let me out of the country easier, so I can go back to Zimbabwe as a returning citizen because the flights now here from here are a little bit difficult to go out of this country. So I can go back to Zimbabwe as a returning citizen, get tested for COVID, whatever you call it, this thing. Then let's fly from Zimbabwe and go to fight in Abu Dhabi. And the visas are not even difficult for us as Zimbabweans to go there. So for me, I feel like it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner than I think. Yeah, I feel like it's going to happen sooner than I think. And I feel like it's going to be big. I just have to keep focused. Obviously, it's frustrating not to know when you're going to fight. Even EFC is not putting up events here in South Africa that you'll be like, okay, cool, while I wait for that, I can fight here. There's nothing here, there's no fight happening here in South Africa. The government here is quite strict, and the politicians here are quite, shady like everywhere else around the world.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like it's going to happen sooner than expected, and it's going to be bigger than what people think. I just, for me, I'm game to fight anybody in the top 10 in the UFC, but it doesn't happen like that. You know that it doesn't happen like that. That you go in there and you get straight away. You have to come up. You have to make your things. You have to play your books right, and you have to come up. But for me, in my mind, I visualize myself fighting the guys in the top 10. It is difficult, but it's doable, man. There's two hands, two legs, one man. So why not? I feel like I'm the best welterweight in the world, but I can say it, but I have to go out there and prove it. So for me to prove it is to fight the best guys in the world. That's the best guys in the world currently are based in UFC, and that's what I want to do. That's what I visualize myself doing, and I'll go all the way. I'll go all the way.
All right, Themba, thank you so much, man, for the time, and good luck on in getting signed and performing on the big stage. I'm looking forward to it, and stay safe, man, and yeah, that's all I can say
Yeah,
is stay safe in this world right now.
I'll keep going. I'll keep working hard, keeping waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, working hard, and good things are going to come. Good things are going to happen, and I will inspire a lot of people. And I will before my debut, I'll do an interview with you again. How
Definitely.
about that for a deal?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's the
cool.
deal.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, brother.